Good morning. Welcome to 49ers in 5, your daily update on everything happening with the team that you need to know. I'm Rob Stats Guerrera. Today is Thursday, August 3rd, 2023. Here's what's happening with your San Francisco 49ers. There was no practice yesterday, but that doesn't mean we don't have any news because quarterback coach Brian Griese met with the media and had a lot of nice things to say about the improvements that Trey Lance has made.
It goes back to him starting to get healthy. Now being healthy gives him a platform with which to find his natural rhythm, to find his natural motion, and to throw the ball like he did in college. And so I'm really happy that he's at that point where he's healthy enough to do that. And he's now put in work on top of that with his motion to give himself a chance to be more accurate. So he looks a lot better. There's no question. And I'm excited about that. And I'm excited about him getting into some of these preseason games and having the positive reinforcement that he can build confidence and continue to do that going forward.
When I just read the quotes, I was like, oh, that's kind of a tepid endorsement. But when you actually hear the audio of Griese saying that, I actually sound a lot more encouraged by what he said and how he said it, I guess. He sounds genuinely excited and happy that Trey Lance is doing well and making those improvements. I agree, by the way. I can't wait for him to get in those preseason games, too. I am counting the days. We move along here on the show. I'm also excited about the national media possibly flipping their narrative on Trey Lance. Take a listen to Adam Schefter, who was a guest on the Pat McAfee show yesterday, talking about Trey Lance.
I'm not going to overreact to a couple of throws that are on social media, like where he's a little bit off. I can tell you that they felt like he had as good an offseason as he had, and he's more prepared than he's ever been. So let's see what happens over the course of a summer when they're in – like, we're not even in full pad practices yet.
Yeah, it was this one right here. This one was the one.
But listen, we live in a very reactionary world, Pat. So people want to come up and make judgments right away. And so Trey Lance is trending the right way. Let's see what happens with him this summer. But even if he's trending the right way, I still think Brock Purdy's the starter.
It's funny. All of a sudden, we're not overreacting to a couple Lance misses, right? Before, we're clutching our pearls every time he throws an incomplete pass. Now, all of a sudden, we're not going to overreact to a couple of Lance misses. Where was this energy earlier in the summer, I might ask? Just throwing it out there, but it was nice to see because that means that somebody is telling the national media, and we know the Niners love to talk to the national media. Somebody is telling them good things about Trey Lance, and that seems like it hasn't always been the case. Now, to be totally fair, Adam Schefter also said nice things about Brock Purdy.
I saw some people the first couple of days saying, boy, Brock Purdy didn't look particularly sharp and didn't look great. And I called up to a couple of people in the 49ers, and they're like, what are they talking about? No, he looked good. Like, they don't know what they're watching. I'm like, okay, well, I'm just telling you that's the report out there. So I can tell you they're happy.
It is possible both quarterbacks look good, right? And both quarterbacks are doing good. I know we as fans tend to go one way or the other, but maybe things are just that good for the 49ers from a quarterback perspective, hard as it might be to believe. We always give you one thing to read, one thing to watch, and one thing you might have missed. One thing to read on this Thursday, Eric Branch did an interview with Danny Gray. And in the interview, Gray talks about a lot of the changes that he made off the field after his rookie season, which you may remember only featured one catch. There's a lot of cool things in there. You can read the article by clicking the link in the description of this episode. One thing to watch, the 49ers announced the promotion of Jeff Diamond to senior manager of salary cap. Normally, I wouldn't waste your time with that. But remember, Parag Marathe is going to be in charge of Leeds United, the soccer team. And so the Niners may need a new cap guy. And it looks like if that happens, Jeff Diamond may be the man. One thing you may have missed, this one was a little interesting on Thursday night. Trey Lance's former quarterback coach, Quincy Avery, kind of started a little controversy on Twitter when he said that Kyle Shanahan didn't want Trey to work with him after the draft. Now, people got all up in arms. Quincy Avery would later join a Twitter space about this and say, basically, it's not as big a deal as people think. He had no relationship with Shanahan and that staff. And so after Trey was drafted, the Niners wanted Trey to work with someone that they were a little more familiar with, and that wasn't Quincy Avery. It's basically a nothing burger, but if you heard about it online today, I wanted you to have more of the full context so you wouldn't be caught off guard. That's a wrap on today's 49ers in 5. Please rate, review, and follow the Gold Standard Podcast Network. Enjoy your Thursday, everybody. Make sure you check out our new website, goldstandardniners.com, for more on these stories. I'm Rob Stats Guerrera. We'll talk tomorrow.